This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane. This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
It's the young vet, the big step of Matthew DeLuna, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Big Stepper, Matthew DeLuna.
That's me. Oh, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
And excited to have you on as well. Can you tell us where the Big Stepper is stepping next event-wise?
Yes, so my next event's going to be June 6th, and as of recording, the contracts haven't been signed yet, but on June 13th, we have a triple threat match for my Haybarn Championship Wrestling Hardcore Championship. Myself versus Leslie Lorenzo versus Joey Knight Jr. And then the 20th, I'll have League of Lions Wrestling in Marshall, Texas. And, we'll keep going from there.
Sounds like it's going to be a busy month.
Yes.
And where can we find... I apologize. Cut you off.
Oh, you're all right. I wrestle every weekend. I do this full time. So I take all the bookings I can, and I'm out here doing this for real.
And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
You can find me anywhere. You can find me Facebook, Instagram, X, all of them. TikTok, it's True MDL. And merchandise, you can either purchase t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees /True MDL, or just search Matthew DeLuna, or the DeLunas, and there's several different designs there. And I have all sorts of different merchandise at my table when you see me at shows. And you can also contact me on whatever social you have, and I can mail you whatever merchandise you want. Actually, today I was making new merchandise, so we're up the table with brand new stuff.
Perfect. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get into it. We are actually celebrating 10 years of Matthew DeLuna.
10 years.
That's, incredible. And it's crazy because you're not even in your 30s yet.
Yeah.
So what does that number kind of mean to you, celebrating 10 years in the business?
So I started wrestling when I was 14 years old. And that is insanely early. I was in 8th grade. I was about to finish 8th grade. And so I wasn't even in high school yet when I first started wrestling. It's just a huge milestone for me, 10 years, because I started off as such a young kid. Now I'm 24, and 24 years old, you're still getting your feet on the ground as an adult. But for me in this business, I might be young, but to others, I'm a vet. That's why they started calling me the young vet, because after 10 years, I've grinded and I've gone farther than most 24-year-olds, grinded more than most 34-year-olds, So 10 years at the age of 24, is a huge milestone because at 24 years old, most people are just starting. And I had such the pleasure and honor of having a family who supported me and people who were in my corner and just people who made it happen. And I'm so grateful for that because, without my support system, there's no way I'd be doing it for 10 years. There's no way I'd be doing it for one. So I'm just super thankful for them.
And was it kind of mean to have that support system? Because, at 14 years old, a lot of parents would say, wait until you're 18. But you actually got that opportunity, 4 years prior.
Yeah, so basically what happened, I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. But when I was 8 years old, I went to my first ever independent show. It was about less than 2 minutes from my house. It was right beside my house. And I saw people like Sean Cordova, Max Lavaro, Jason Scott, and I was like, if Max Lavaro can do it, if Sean Cordova can do it, and they're from Gladewater, Texas, then I can do it. And I was 8 years old, and I really sat with myself, and I said, I will do this one day. So as I started getting a little bit older, I was like, how can I get into this? And they're like, we'll start, if you want to, at 14 years old, we can train you, but, there's just no way we put you on shows until maybe 16, maybe even 18. I was like, well, you know what? I just want to get in the ring. That's all I want to do. Well, by the time I turned 14, I was ready to train. But the local independent wrestling show that I was going to, Texas Elite Wrestling, had closed down after a decade in service. So about an hour from my house, there was another independent wrestling promotion called League of Lions. And they were like, we'd love to train you, but we just don't feel comfortable doing it till you're 18, which me today, I totally understand. But when I was 14, I was devastated, because 8 years old to 14, that's 6 years. For 6 years, I've been like, all right, when I turn 14, I'm going to become a wrestler. Well, they said no. And that was really hard for me. But my dad didn't take no for an answer. So my family purchased a ring. And Hunter Dude Preston, he was a local wrestler in my area who is retired now, but back then he was one of the mainstays in East Texas wrestling. And he would come to my house every Monday. We had Hunter Preston, we had Mongoose, and Broken Keith came over to my house a couple times as well. But those three men, they came to my house, and Hunter Preston every Monday would come to my house no matter what he had going on, because he had a full-time job. He had a life of his own. No matter what he had going on, he came to my house and trained me every Monday. And after about 4 months, we had our local festival coming up. I don't know if you have festivals where you're from, but there's a big festival in Gladewater, Texas called Gusher Days. And it's where a bunch of rides come and a bunch of vendors, and yearly they do a wrestling show there. And Hunter was like, he at the time, my name was Kane Matthew. That's my real name, Kane Matthew. They're like, Kane, he's been going out and he's been training with me and he's been doing very well. I know he's really young, but just let him have his first name. And Sean Cordova was the one running the show in Gladewater. And he said, oh, absolutely. Let's do a tag match with him versus him and Mongoose versus you and Broken Keith, me and the three of my trainers. And the way Gusher Days worked is there's 2 shows that day. So the first half we did that tag match, and then later in the night we did an 8-man tag match where I actually got to represent Team Texas Elite Wrestling, which is the first independent show I ever went to. So it was a big milestone. Uh, and the owner of League of Legends Wrestling was at that show. And he came up to me and he was like, Kane, I just want you to know that even though you're so young, you really impressed me. I really want you to be part of League of Legends. So from there on, at 14 years old, I became an active member of the League of Legends roster. So without my support system, without the people who believed in me, there's no way I'd even begin training before I was 18.
That is completely incredible. And I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much to kind of unpack there. Like, I mean, I feel like, your first match being with all three of your trainers is just like the perfect, bow on, that chapter of your career, from, training up to your first match, no?
Oh, absolutely. And it was just, I don't even know how to, I don't have words for it because it was such a surreal experience. Because like I said, I was 14 years old. I was in 8th grade. I was a kid. And these were grown men. They had lives, outside of all this. And they decided that they wanted me to be successful like them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it meant so much to me. Especially now, looking back, it's wild that all that was able to occur. It was respect for my dad. It was respect for me. It was respect for my family. And it was just super kind for, all of them to do that for me.
And then obviously getting to represent, the first ever indie show that you, attended in an 8-man tag. I feel like that in some crazy way is kind of a full circle moment, no?
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, that indie show had closed down. So they weren't even running anymore. So for me to say that I debuted for Texas Elite Wrestling 2 years after it had, had went inactive meant even more because I always wanted to wrestle there, but there was no way because they weren't running anymore. So for them to have this, for lack of a better word, like this one-off, their yearly show, for me to get to still debut for the promotion I always wanted to wrestle for, it was the cherry on top.
Now let's talk about some current stuff.
Absolutely.
Not too long ago, you actually got to wrestle Mike Bennett. Obviously WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor alumni. Big no name. What was that experience like?
So I met him a couple months prior to the match where he was going against Chris Fortune, and he was about to get pile driven by Mike Bennett. So I came into the ring and I cost Mike Bennett the match. I clocked him from behind, I stomped him, and I did not let him have the win that night. So Mike Bennett was like, since Matthew Day Luna took the win from me, he's going to have to fight me. So he challenged me. We had our match. And it was such a surreal experience because, like you said, TNA, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor. And that night, I showed that, when people first see me, they see me as the 400-pounder short guy. And they don't think I can do anything. They don't think I can work. They don't think I can wrestle. But that night, not only did I show them that I'm a good wrestler, not only did I show them that I am meant to be here, I showed them that I can hang with Mike Bennett. I can hang with anybody you put in front of me. And that night, I had the win. I had him in a submission hold, and he got me. He rolled me up. So Mike Bennett didn't beat me. I beat myself because he caught me slipping. and that's on me. I can't really blame anybody but myself. But that night, just like even though I lost, I proved to myself and I proved to everybody that I am somebody. You know, Matthew Day Luna, he can hang. He can do what it is. Like he can become something, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, it feels like it sounds like the issues between you and Mike are not resolved.
No, so you know, obviously he's a busy man, but if I ever see him again, if I'm ever tasked with another opportunity to go against him, just know that it's on sight. Because at the end of the day, I beat myself. And so he got to beat me. He's got to put me down. Because that night, I didn't go stretcher out. I wasn't beaten to a pulp. That whole match, I beat him up. That whole match, he should have been carried out by a stretcher. But me, I walked out on my own 2 feet. I stood 10 toes down because Matthew Day Luna, at the end of the day, stood toe to toe with Mike Bennett. So when I see him next, which I never know when it's going to be, I will beat him. I will beat Mike Bennett.
I mean, wrestling somebody, you know, like Mike Bennett, like we've been saying, like in your 10th year in pro wrestling, I can't imagine that that's not, you know, a leveling up, you know, moment, no?
Absolutely. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't nervous because when that match got signed, you know, the first thing you do, I don't know if you're like this, but self-doubt is a very real thing, you know. And even though I've been doing this for a while, and even though I've grinded, especially these last few years, I didn't know if I was ready. Of course, I wanted to believe I was. Of course, I wanted to believe that I was good enough. But what if we went out there and I didn't live up to it? What if I wasn't, you know, what if I shouldn't have been there? So before the match, I was so nervous, but we get into gorilla position, you know, and I'm like, you know, I am worthy. You don't need to be nervous. Lock in. And that's exactly what I did. I went out there and the weight was lifted off my shoulders because I knew that no matter what people thought about me, no matter what the naysayers thought, Matt Cardona says it best. I'm not here to prove my haters wrong. I'm here to prove my believers right. And I got a lot of people believing in me. So I had to prove that night that they were believing in the right person.
Oh yeah. Now, you are very much somebody in demand when it comes to, you know, wrestling and rivalries. You know, you mentioned his name at the top. Can you tell us about your friendship and ultimately rivalry with Leslie Lorenzo?
Yes. So I met Leslie Lorenzo before he was even a wrestler. I met him from a mutual friend of a mutual friend. So basically, Ace Alexender, my stepbrother, we have a friend named Josh, and Josh was friends with Leslie Lorenzo. So me and Ace Alexander were tag team champions at the time, and I'd love to talk more about Ace later on in this during this time. But
I have questions about him.
oh, awesome. Well, Leslie Lorenzo, he makes music. He used to make music before he was a wrestler, and I always wanted to make music because I grew up singing, and I've always been a fan of hip hop. So I wanted to learn how to rap. I wanted to do music. So I was like, Leslie, I'd love to learn music from you. He's like, what if I made a separate theme song? I said, dude, I'd love for you to make us a custom theme song. So he made us a theme song, and during this time, we lost the tag team championships, and he was like, you know what? During y'all's rematch, I want to perform the song, and I want this to be a monumental occasion because I want to be with you when you win back the tag team championship. And that's exactly what we did. He performed us out to the ring. We got the huge win against Red Chambers and Big J, and it's a monumental occasion. And he was like, Matt, I got to do this. And I was like, yes, you do. So me and him trained. We were both going to Barrett Brown at the time because Hunter and Mongoose, they trained me. Hunter primarily trained me, but you're always training. You're always getting better. So I was like, I got to polish up. I got to get better. And Barrett Brown is one of the best. Not just in the area. He's one of the very best. He should be signed right now. It's a crime he's not. So I was like, come with me to Barrett's and let's get this thing rolling. And that's what he did. He went to Barrett's without me, and he got great. I can't explain how great he got. So it was a huge honor when, at the time, I was tag team champions with another man, and he couldn't fulfill the role that night. He couldn't wrestle that night because he had to go back to prior engagement. And I said, Leslie, I know you've never had a match in front of a crowd, but it's time to show everybody what you're made of. And that night, I basically vacated the championship because I was forced to, but then we won them back. So he got me another tag team championship. And I'm forever grateful that we had that opportunity to have that moment as friends. But now, now, we ain't friends anymore.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. So here's what happened. I actually tuned in to the Leslie Lorenzo episode, and you brought up the Waffle House match.
I did.
And obviously, from the stipulation, you can tell that this was just a brotherly battle. Like, this was just a thing, This was just for fun. Like, this was our first ever singles match. We wanted it to be cool. Well, he brought in a chair because he was getting mad. He was getting angry that I was going to beat him. So he brought in a chair, and I didn't let him hit me with it. And just because the chair was in the ring didn't mean I was going to let it go to use. So I might have perhaps used it. And so I got the win. And later in the night, he turned on me. And after that, we lost the tag team championship. Or we had already lost the tag champions at this time. So we had already had a little bit of animosity just because we were upset we lost. But we were still friends. So when he was mad that I was going to beat him, and even more mad that I did, that's when he turned on me. So, and now we've wrestled all over the country. It hasn't been no one company situation. We've probably wrestled in 4 states by now, and it's been such a insane experience because it means that different crowds want to see this rivalry.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. And, to peel back the curtain, that's a huge dream for any professional wrestler to be worthy enough to where your work is wanted elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me and Leslie, even though we hate each other, for us, for our work and our work ethic to matter to places elsewhere and for them to want that match on their card is a huge pat on the back, I think.
I mean, just, out of curiosity here.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever felt like, if you decided not to use the chair in the match, that this would still actually have happened? Or do you think that the chair was the straw that broke the camel's back?
There's definitely butterfly effects, to say the least, in all aspects of life. But when he brought the chair in the ring, sure, I probably should have been the man to say, let's not do this here. But I think I would have also, if I would have turned my back on him to throw the chair out of the ring, he probably would have capitalized on me. So at that moment, when he brought the chair into play, I think it became a dog-eat-dog world. I think the very moment he decided to bring a chair in the ring, that's the moment we were no longer friends. And that's kind of crazy that one action caused this huge consequence. But my mom, my whole life always told me that every action has a consequence. Good or bad, there's a consequence. And him bringing in that chair, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
And there's been a lot of consequences for both of you since that day.
Yes, very.
And like you said, you'll be wrestling him in a triple threat on the 13th, right?
Absolutely. And he just wants to beat me. And I get it. But, you would think that what's done is done. I've beaten him more than you can count now. And I don't say that, in a derogatory way as he's less of a man than me. I just have his number. So it might be time for him to move on to something else. That's all I got to say.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's fair territory considering that he's less than a year in and you're 10 years in. So, I mean, experience factor there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, because we started off as friends, so you could think of the good days. You could think of being proud of how far he's come in a year, but I can also remember that he's just been doing it a year, so why does he think he's better than me? Especially when he's not.
Well, I'll say this. For somebody that's a year in the business, he's progressed leaps and bounds.
And that's exactly why I chose him to be my tag team partner that night. Because I knew it. That's like my biggest flaw, is I believe in people. I know that's crazy to say, but I believe in people so much that I put all my eggs in that basket. And, now we're not even friends. So it's hard because I want to be proud of him, and I am. But I can't acknowledge being proud when I got to beat him up.
I get it. Well, you mentioned him. Your stepbro, Ace Alexender. And that's not necessarily a gimmick. You are actually stepbrothers, right?
Right. So we met in kindergarten. So we met in kindergarten, and we started off as friends. Then eventually, our parents met and got together, and we weren't just hanging out. Now we were living together. Now we were brothers, And we were going to Texas League Wrestling together, and we had the same dreams. We had the same wants and desires to be professional wrestlers. Well, at 14, while I'm while I'm doing this, he's focusing more on his studies, and he's focusing more on how he wants to provide for his family when he grows up. You know, he has two sisters. I have a brother and sister, but he has two sisters, and he wanted to be able to provide for them when he grew up, you know, because everything changes, you know, and he wanted to be able to be the constant that he just wanted to be a better man, and I respected him for it. Of course, I wanted him to wrestle with me, but he said, I know you want to do it now, but I want to do it later when I'm ready. And looking back, that was the perfect choice for him because he ended up going to the military. And when he went to the military, I never thought we'd ever wrestle together. Like, I never thought we'd have that moment. So when he went to the military, he got married. He now has 2 kids. But when he came back from the military, when his contract had expired, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, man, let's get this thing rolling." So just like Leslie, a year before, me and him went to Barrett Brown's house. And I was like, "Barrett, this is my stepbrother, this is Ace, and he wants to wrestle." And, you know, sometimes, okay, you know this, wrestling's hard. Wrestling is a hard sport.
Oh, yeah.
It's very intricate. It's designed in a special way to be safe. And if you're not safe, you'll hurt somebody. Well, Ace gets in the ring, and Barrett is teaching him the techniques, you know, and he's doing them as if he is the video that you would watch to learn. You know, like when you start a new job and they have the video orientation for you. It's like Ace Alexender was the orientation video you were watching. He was doing everything pristine and perfect. And Barrett Brown was like, "Dude, you're going to be something." And that's exactly what happened. After a few months, he started going on the road with me. And he wasn't even 3 months into the business before me and him became tag team champions.
That's incredible. What does that kind of mean to you to, you know, have, everybody, when they're in pro wrestling, when they have tag team partners, they have friends, they have people that are like brothers. But, I mean, this guy legitimately is your brother. You grew up together. So what did that moment mean to you to, you know, finally tag team with him properly?
It's one of those, you know, you have family members, and they say blood is thicker than water. But when you grow up, you can kind of decide whether or not you want to be associated. And the fact that not only did he leave and he went to Korea, he went and did all these things in the military, and he came back and he still chose to be my brother. You know what I mean? I don't mean to get too, I guess, emotional about it, but just for all those years to pass and us to still be best friends and us to be able to still live the dream that we had when we were 8 years old, it means the most. It's something that you never think is going to happen. And, you know, I have a full brother, Calvary De Luna. And obviously it's a dream for one day for me and him to become tag team champions. But as of now, he's more interested in college and doing his thing to be a successful man, you know. And he comes to the ring with me sometimes, and he has been a phenomenal manager for me. But for me, to have the relationship I have with Ace Alexander and to have that moment as champions together. It was like not only did the dream come true, the dream wanted us too. Like we wanted this, but this wanted us,
Right. And I mean, we'll get back to Ace in like a moment, but
Yeah, no problem.
you mentioned, I'm obviously Ace. Your brother is dabbling with it a bit now. You're tag teaming currently with your cousin. So it
Yeah.
does seem like a really big theme in your career is family. What does it kind of mean to you to have not just your family be, a support system for your pro wrestling, but actually be very immersed in it as well?
So this is actually a crazy story with Truman De Luna. So to answer your question first, not only are they a support system, they're actually doing it with me. It means the most because it doesn't seem like I'm wasting my time. It doesn't seem like I'm the weird one in the family. It seems like that they want to be on this ride too, and that just means the world to me. Especially when I go to shows where people go by themselves, like they came by themselves, they were in the car by themselves, and they're still happy, they're still having a great time. But for me, I have my family with me, and like my dad, he ring announces. My brother, he'll manage me. My stepbro wrestles. My cousin wrestles. My mom, she comes to all the shows. It's huge. It's a huge blessing. It really is. But Truman De Luna, fun fact about him is I didn't even meet him until we were in college, and that's crazy. But he grew up in Swaziland, South Africa. His
Wow.
his parents are missionaries, so he grew up as a missionary, and he moved back here for college, and that's when we finally met. So our close knit bond is only like 6 years old because I met him in 2020, and in those 6 years we've got insanely close. So this was a journey for us too because when we met, I was already wrestling, and he was always a wrestling fan, and he wanted to do it, and I was like, one day we're going to do it, and that's what happened.
And going back to Ace, stepbrother, but also enemy. You've had your differences in the past. I believe those differences resulted in a cage match, no?
Yes. So this one's definitely on me. I can blame Leslie if I wanted to, but this one's definitely on me. Ace, he was less than a year in, and he already won a promotion's top prize. WWA believed in him enough to give him a championship match, and he was successful and won that match. So he became the WWA Grand Champion. And at the time, I had just won my first ever World Championship. And it took me 8 years to do so. Almost 9 years to get that opportunity. So for me, I've been clawing, I've been grinding. And this one stung me a bit. On one hand, I was super proud of him. But a flaw that older brothers have, me and Ace were only 2 months apart. So we're always fighting on who's like the older brother because technically I was born first, but for him, he feels like he has to protect me. So we kind of fight back and forth about that, like lovingly. But in this moment, I was like, no, You're not ready. You've only been in this business like less than a year. You're not ready to be the guy that carries this company on his back. You're just not ready for that. And I was wrong. Because then we had a cage match, last step bro standing. And at the end of the night, he put me down for the 10 count. He picked me up. We hugged. And we were all good. But I needed him to prove to me that he was worthy. And I know that that's, that's probably regretful, like probably something to regret. But at the time, I knew that I'd gone through a bunch of hardships to get to where I was. And I wanted him to make sure that he was worthy,
I gotcha. Well, I mean, what is it? Obviously the dream is to have a tag team, but like, what was the experience, to actually go, opposite of your stepbro?
It meant it was kind of the same. So winning a tag team championship is a huge milestone, like, because it means that you finally are in this together and it means something. But for them, both of you, to be world champions of different promotions in 2 different states, to then clash in the main event, you know what that means? Not only are y'all great together, you are the best separately. And that meant something completely different, because we were a great tag team, but now we were both champions. We were both top guys, and now we're fighting. So it meant the world in a complete different way. And even in defeat, I'm very proud of that match, because I know it's a match that both of us 8 years old wanted. When we were messing around on the trampoline, we were going against each other. When we were going around and on the playground at school, we were going against each other. So for us to do that in the main event meant everything.
Now, it seems like things are, healthy between you and Truman Del Luna right now.
Yes.
You've had a match already against each other. No animosity or issues?
So basically, the main issue was I felt, because at this time, Leslie had stabbed me in the back. And, stuff we're not even going to talk about today. I've been stabbed in the back more times than I can count. My first ever tag team partner abandoned me. I've been betrayed in this business so long that, I was winning singles championships, and me and Truman weren't winning the tag team titles, even though we should have. We weren't. And in a sign of weakness, I felt like he was jealous of me. He wasn't, but for some reason I felt like I was. I felt like he was. So I said, Truman, if you're so flustered at this, we got to have a brotherly battle. We got to do this. So yes, in that match, I was the person who caused it. But before then, we were friends and brothers. But after it, we were friends and brothers. But during the match, this was our time to get whatever existing, non-existing animosity we had. In that 15 minutes we had to take it all out. And that's also the night I attacked Mike Bennett. So it was a real, big night for me, but it was also a big night for Truman because he was known as the tag team wrestler. He was known as Matthew Day Luna's partner. And that night, he had the opportunity to show that not only was he someone picking it up fast, he was able to show that he was able to hang with me, but also hang with being in a top position as well. Truman has gone on to challenge for multiple singles championships. He's gone on to main event shows where he main evented over me. So Truman's done his own thing too. And because of the constant motivation we give each other, we've become better. So yes, me and Truman, we never really fought or had a stand like heat or anything, but we did have that singles match, and I was definitely mean during it.
I gotcha. So the issues are resolved for now.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, another name that you've been in the ring with is a one Soda Pop Hendrix, NWA star, respected name. What was that experience like?
So that night was a very, very stressful night. And I'll explain it like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the show prior, I win a battle royal to become number one contender for the championship. But at the time, me and Ace are tag team champions. And Ace has a family emergency and can't be there. So I have someone fill in, and that person loses the tag titles. So now I'm no longer tag champions. Now me and Ace are no longer tag champions together. So now I'm upset. Then I beat up that person. So now the crowd hates me. Now I'm stressed because I'm number one contender against an established name. I've been doing tag team things. I haven't even done a singles match around here, and I'm nervous. I'm frightened. And now I have the opportunity to become world champion. I am stressed to the max. Right? Well, before the show, they are doing this talk show segment. And they bring out Soda, and they're interviewing Soda. And I go out to just cause some ruckus that I do. Because he's talking about me, and I'm like, don't talk about me, buddy. So the GM comes out, and he's like, Matthew, Soda, y'all are the first match. And I'm not even dressed. I'm in street clothes, dude. I'm not even in my gear. So I'm not even close to ready for this World Championship match. Because we're supposed to be in the main event. I'm not ready at all. So I was stressed. The bell rings, and me and Soda fight, and we fight. He is beating me up, I'm beating him up, and finally, my dad was in the crowd, my brother was there, my family was there. I had a bunch of friends come from Texas to Arkansas to witness this occasion, and during the talk show, Soda gave up his championship, his champion's advantage. He gave up his champion's advantage. So he could lose by DQ, he could lose by count out, and still lose the championship. Well, a guy like me, you gotta work smarter, not harder, buddy. So, the ref wasn't looking, and my dad grabbed the championship and knocked out Soda Pop. I get in the ring. The ref counts to 10, and everyone, not only are they mad that Soda lost, they're mad I become champion. And not only are they mad that I become champion, they're mad that I didn't even pin him. They're mad that I won because I won the mental game. I knew that if I got him stirred up enough, he'd give up his champion's advantage, and I got him to do it. So I didn't even have to pin him. I didn't even have to show that I'm better than him, even though I am. I didn't have to show him that. I just had to show that I was smarter than him. And that went on to create the legacy that I've established today.
I mean, we've talked about some incredible moments that you've had. You know, obviously no short of moments, but are these moments that you take in the moment, or are these things that kind of set in afterwards? Like, wow, I did this.
So I'm an emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So when I beat Soda, I was immediately overwhelmed with like, holy crap, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then after my match with Mike Bennett, dude, it was completely different. It wasn't like I was still like, holy crap. But when I got to the back, I was like, I am good. Like I am worthy enough to be here. Because like we've mentioned earlier, I'm not the stereotypical wrestler. Like I'm just not. So there's a lot of doubters here. So when I had that match with Mike Bennett, I took in the moment, and I was very thankful. I was very happy. I was very, I was just overwhelmed with emotion. But the biggest overwhelming emotion that I had was validity. I felt that everything that I had thought, everything that I had done to get to this point was correct. So I do live in the moment. Of course, sometimes when things close, like simmer down a little bit, I'll think of it in a different like POV, like point of view.
Yeah.
But I definitely live in the moment because I am a very emotional person. I've always lived like that. I've always been emotional, so it's very like, fulfilling to have lived these moments because sometimes if I don't like how things have gone in the past, I can either be mad about it or I can remember that one, 8-year-old me would be excited, but two, there's people right now who want to get in the ring and they're not. Like they don't have that opportunity. So I should be thankful that I even had a match tonight. You know what I mean?
I got you. Well, maybe this was an emotional moment. Definitely a moment for sure. You actually retired Ultimo Astro.
So at my first ever independent show, Texas Elite Wrestling, I witnessed Ultimo Astro. And Ultimo Astro was the meanest luchador I'd ever seen. Like, because obviously I'm 8 years old, so I didn't even know what AAA was. The only masked dude I knew was Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio was this nice, loving, high-flying, awesome person. So for Ultimo Astro to be this mean person, it blew my mind. But here's where another emotional moment happens. I win my first ever singles championship, the League of Lions Untamed Championship. And during that reign is when me and Ultimo collided for the first or second time. And he made my life definitely a journey. He ended up being the reason why I lost the Untamed Championship because I was in a triple threat match. And he was the one pinned. So I lost my championship without ever getting pinned. And I was upset. I was ticked. So me and Ultimo collided one final time. And this time, he put his career on the line. I believe it was a loser leaves match. So we both put our careers on the line. And so I gambled on myself, but also I knew that 8-year-old me had to lock in because I knew that even though he's a lot older than me, he has a lot more experience than me, I've got to prove that I'm able to beat him. And that night I did. That night I retired Ultimo Astro. And now, without really getting to this, he has a son, Ultimo Astro Jr., who has also been a thorn in my side. So that's something else. But Ultimo Astro, retiring him was something that I couldn't believe because it was such a legacy that I was involved in his final chapter,
Especially to be the guy for him to say, yeah, this is going to be my last match.
It's very rewarding.
Well, from good moments, bittersweet moments, to bizarre ones. I think it's time for Matthew's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay.
A wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Yes, okay. So, me and Calvary Day Luna, we're on the road from Houston, and all of a sudden, I just see this explosion happen in front of me. It's not really an explosion, but basically a bird flew into my engine.
Oh my god.
Like I didn't hit the bird. It spawned. Like I'm so serious when I say this. It spawned inside of my engine. Like so my car was down for the count. So that sucked. But yeah, that was an insane moment, and there's nothing I can even. There's no details I can tell you because it makes no sense. I didn't see it did not fly. I did not hit it. It spawned. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And another one later on was the one Leslie told you about. When we were like, "Hey, we're wrestlers. You better put that tire on," and they're like, "Okay." I still can't believe that's real. But there's been definitely crazy times. Like there was a time where me and Ace were on the road, and one week I was driving, I fell asleep, and I hit a curb, and we had to replace the tire. And I'm so serious when I tell you the next week Ace is driving. He fell asleep because we driving late at night from a show. He accidentally dozes off and he hits the same tire and we got on the same curve. Like basically what would happen is we'd be less than 2 minutes from my house. And I don't know if it was a whole, oh dude, we're here. So you forget to lock in that last 2 minutes, so you fall asleep because you're so tired. But it happened 2 weeks in a row. Gosh, his wife was ticked. So that's another moment. But yeah.
All right. Well, can you tell us about your love of SpongeBob?
I'd love to. So, SpongeBob has always been my constant. Growing up, some of my first memories, before you're even really watching TV for the plot, you kind of watch at it because your brain can't really comprehend the plot. You're just watching at a screen. SpongeBob was that screen, and he's always meant a lot to me because if you ever see an episode, there's so much negativity going around them. There's you got Squidward being mean. You got they're at the Krusty Krab and the customers are being rude and Mr. Krabs is just hungry for power and Plankton's trying to steal the formula. And SpongeBob, he could sit there and be miserable. But you know what he does? He does everything with a smile on his face. He goes through life, goes through all the ups and downs, no matter what, with a smile on his face. And I just think that's something to admire. I think that you should strive to be the positivity and the negativity. And that's just what SpongeBob does. SpongeBob is always the calm in the storm. It's not before the storm because he's always in some sort of storm.
Right.
But he's laughing, he's smiling, and he can't drive still. But he's trying. He's always trying. He's never given up trying to get his driver's license. So if you need a lesson from SpongeBob, just like John Cena says, never give up. Because SpongeBob, he's going to keep striving. He's going to keep trying to be better. And I can't fault that.
What's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode. I think my first episode might be either Ripped Pants or the first one, Help Wanted. Because we're being introduced to these characters. And we're being introduced to SpongeBob getting his dream job. It's like me becoming a wrestler. My dream, it's like me living my dream. He always wanted to work for the Krusty Krab because he liked eating there as a kid. So he gets to live his dream. I love that episode. I love the episode where he's visiting his grandma and she makes some cookies and stuff like that.
Well, he has the sideburns.
What's that?
Well, he has the sideburns.
That's right, the sideburns. I also liked I still watch it today, so I've seen some obscure ones like where they redid the Rock Bottom episode because I love the original Rock Bottom episode.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really like them revisiting those episodes and kind of changing them up. But I think it's cool. Like, it's cool in theory, and it's cool, like, nostalgia-wise. So I appreciate it. But original SpongeBob is definitely the best. I don't like how they've kind of plagiarized them by being, kind of annoying, which I'd never say that about my sponge. I didn't call him annoying. But, I definitely prefer OG SpongeBob because it's so much more, diverse and more entertaining. Another favorite episode of mine is when he's having those dreams and Gary is it's like this professor guy in the library and he's wearing this wizard cloak and but I got a bunch of cool memories of SpongeBob just because I've been watching SpongeBob literally since I was born. So it's been awesome. It's been an awesome constant in my life.
No, it's crazy to say because I've watched SpongeBob all my life as well. I don't necessarily watch the modern stuff, but I do definitely go back and watch, the old stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Top episodes is definitely Slinging Slasher.
Oh, absolutely. I can't believe I didn't even think about that. That's my, they remade a movie poster of it for Hot Topic or something.
Yes, I wanted that so badly.
Well, that's my, that's like my wallpaper for my tablet. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So you're so right. That's a great episode.
And the one about the where they go camping outside their houses and the bear
Yes.
keeps attacking Squidward.
Yes.
Like,
That's
you
very
looked at
coincident.
him wrong.
The sea bear.
The sea bear, yeah.
Oh, and also where they're the future episode. That's a good one.
The conch
You know,
shell.
yeah, good episodes.
Alright. Now, at one point you actually had a vlog. Can you tell us about the vlog and if we'll maybe ever see it again?
Plot twist. I've already started filming for more.
Okay.
Actually, this past week, or actually 2 weeks ago, I filmed some stuff in Houston. So the vlogs are coming back. But to dive more into that, vlogging was so fun. Like, I've had 3 different dreams in life. It's to become a wrestler, do music, and be a filmmaker. Because I love acting, I love editing videos, I love just everything. Like, I used to make short films in high school with my friends and my family too. You know, so vlogging in a weird way kind of mixed them all together. Like, I'd go do my wrestling, I'd vlog the adventure, I'd edit it when I was done, and I'd, you know, put music in the background. Now, it wasn't any of my own music, but now that I have my own music, you bet that my B-roll definitely have my music on it. But vlogging was so fun for me because I got to do what I love. I got to, you know, do that. And also, another thing that I love to do is write and draw. So I'm going to hopefully incorporate that a little bit as well. I guess I'll take this time to announce that I have an idea for a children's book that I hope to get written and published soon. So I guess now that I'm putting that in the public, I got to do it fast. But but yeah, so it's vlogging was a very fun part of my life, and the reason why I stopped doing it is because unfortunately I just kind of like fell out of love with it, and I kind of noticed that like they were declining in value. I was more focused on the quantity more than the quality, and for this new series, I want to bring it back, and I want them to be better. And I think that since I'm a completely different person now, like now that I've grown up and I've kind of found myself, I'm hoping that these are just be more enjoyable because I feel like it'll be a different point of view.
I gotcha. Your book, what is it about, may I ask?
So it's about this squid named Finn, and I'm a Christian, so I think it's very important to kind of like SpongeBob. I was telling you how he preaches positivity, and he's such a positivity and negativity. I think Finn is all about being the light in the darkness. Like being such a bright part of people's lives. And Finn, I'm going to incorporate wrestling into it. Finn is a professional wrestler, and he is challenging for the Oceanic Championship against. I'm going to base the fish off of Max Lavaro that I mentioned earlier. One of the people who made me want to become a professional wrestler. So I'm going to base the champion he's going against off of him. But I have several different characters designed. I have different plot points. But I just got to lay them all together and get the story situated into a book. And who knows, I might make it a series of books. But I just think it's going to be an exciting adventure of Finn going through life as a wrestling squid fish thing. Because because he's not even really a squid. He's like, I don't know. He's a mix of all kinds of things. But I drew him one day after work. I drew him, and I was like, oh yeah, this is my guy now. So I gotta do that.
All right, combining two loves, SpongeBob and wrestling.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned it. You make music as well. Can you tell us about your music?
Yeah, music is. I love music. It's such a huge part of my life because I'm always wanting to. Like, I'm always singing or always listening to beats or whatever. And the reason why music's so important to me because most songs have messages. And my first ever song that I ever made is actually my theme song. So I was very fortunate to have Leslie, even though I hate him. I'm very appreciative that he was there to help me make this song because he didn't let it suck, I guess. Like, because when you're making your first ever song, it can definitely be a car crash. And he didn't let that happen. He made sure he was like, if you're going to put something out, you're gonna make it good. And I've been very fortunate enough to make several songs now. Most are unreleased. I'm going to put together an album soon as a big project. And I haven't made a song in a couple months, but I want to get back to that because it was such a cool way for me to write. Because I love writing. So I love writing and I love poetry. So it was a cool way for me to show that and to get that going.
Usually I ask if there's any new music coming up, but it seems like you have a lot of new music coming out.
Yes. One of my songs that I have released is called Heart and Soul. And it's about, I guess you could say me because it's like in first person, but it's about, a guy, he asks this girl out and they have their first date and it goes poorly. So the second verse is about him saying, well, you know what, I didn't need you anyways. It's a very, it's just a song about a guy being like, I put my heart and soul into this and maybe you aren't worth my heart and soul, just something like that. And, well, plot twist, I made a second one, Heart and Soul 2. And this one is it's a complete different song. Like, it doesn't even sound like the same song, which I think is cool. It references all the songs I've made this far in one of the verses. And I think it's one of the most unique songs I've made just because it doesn't sound like any of them. So I'm really excited to release that whenever I decide to do that. And that's definitely one of the ones I'm most excited to release.
Okay. And I think that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you.
Yes.
Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
The first 3 songs. All right, so I'd have Barely Departed by Matthew DeLuna. I'd have Hail Mary by Tupac. And then I'd probably have Desperado by Rihanna.
All right. Well, definitely a solid 3 picks, and
I
had them ready to go as well.
Well, I don't know how. Like, those are just the 3 that came to me, I guess.
Right. Well, now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go the casting. who plays you, and you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Okay. So who is playing Matthew DeLuna in a movie? I think it's got to be Jonah Hill.
Okay,
Definitely
I can
Jonah
see
Hill.
that. Alright. Now that we have you casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you and your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
So the 3 supporting cast. This is hard because I'm going to be leaving out a lot of people. So if you're tuning in, please forgive me. But three people is got to be Ace Alexander. Got to be Leslie Lorenzo, even though I hate him. And it's got to be because the movie's primarily going to be about wrestling. So I got Ace as my partner. I got Leslie as my opponent, and I guess I'll put my brother in there. So we got Calvary De Luna, Ace Alexander, and Leslie Lorenzo. So who's gonna play Ace Alexander? We gotta have Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
We're gonna have Jonah Hill and Michael B. Jordan playing the greatest tag team to ever exist, Separation United.
Perfect.
Leslie Lorenzo, who's gonna play him?
Okay.
Let's. He's gonna be played by. Let me get his name real quick.
Who was you thinking?
The dude who played Morpheus. In The Matrix.
Keanu Reeves?
No.
Fishburne?
Yes, Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay, so
I'll play.
Lawrence Fishburne as Leslie Lorenzo.
Yes, he's gonna have to look more like he did in. He's gonna have to be younger like he was in Boys in the Hood. Or yeah, that's the movie he's in. And then for Calvary De Luna, who's gonna be him? We're gonna have to do. See, when I think Calvary De Luna, I think of I just can't help but think of Chris Evans. I just can't. They look exactly the same to me. I just can't.
Okay. I gotcha.
Awesome. But no, yeah. And Chris Evans is actually going to be playing Calvary De Luna, but he's also going to be playing Truman De Luna. They're like double casted. And so he's going to be playing like twins.
Okay, so we'll double booking Chris Evans.
Because Truman De Luna, he's Captain America for personified. So that's
Alright. Well, this is definitely sounding like a great movie. A
Well, thank
blockbuster to say the least. And you could pre-order the tickets now. Now on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
So contrary to I'm sure popular belief, if you look at me, I am the pickiest eater in the world. I just don't like food. So I love pizza, but I'm not eating pineapple on it. No way. No way. Now, if you do, I won't kill you for it. I might judge you a little bit, but I won't be mad or nothing. But
Good
so
Christian boy. Good Catholic boy.
yeah.
Judging people for pineapple.
Yeah.
Alright. What's your spirit Pokemon?
My spirit Pokemon, Gengar,
Okay.
purple, big, fighter. Boom.
Perfect.
Gonna beat you up.
Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show.
Yes, we do.
Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
Yes, I do. I'm so mad. I can't remember. Hold on. I know G is not with a G, it's with a J. You're just gonna have to remind me. I'm so mad. I'm so ready.
T is for terrible.
That's
H
right.
is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail. 'Cause a Doug can't spell.
That's right.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers, trying to keep the memory alive on the show.
I've actually been blessed enough to work for a promotion he was prominent in Tennessee.
Did you ever get to meet Tracy?
I did not. It was many years after.
Okay, I got
So I wish I could have though. That would have been really cool.
Me as well, unfortunately. All we really have gotten on the show was some people that did know him and had some incredible stories as well.
Yeah.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully.
Okay.
Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Yes, I would, because in wrestling you should be able to wrestle anyone, and for this question, anything. So I hope The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, but I hope that particular Rock, that sedimentary Rock, is ready to do the JOD for real.
Okay, so not putting the Rock over, getting the W.
Never. I never.
Well, just for context, there's a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
That's awesome.
And he did not win the match either, so.
Oh, no. No, definitely not.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I have had an amazing foundation, especially hitting 10 years. In 5 years, one, by the end of 2026, I will be League of Legends champion. That's just gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna stand in my way for that. So that's my end of year goal. But in 5 years, if I'm not signed, I will have at least had a match on TV, on national TV. So I will still be wrestling because this is my dream. And in 5 years, I will be successful. I'll be
Okay.
I'll be someone that you can say, you know what, Matthew DeLuna, he is actually doing this. Yeah.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off you as a pro wrestler?
So we mentioned the match, me versus Mike Bennett. I think if you want to see, can he actually hang? Can he go out there and prove his worth? If you just want to see a Mike Bennett match and then accidentally see me, that's cool too. But that's just a great match for me to show you that I've grown leaps and bounds. I'll also say, even though me and Leslie, we've had our differences and everything, we have some great matches. So personally, our hardcore championship match back in, I'm not going to lie, I can't remember when it was, but it was this past year. We had a hardcore championship match, and that match was just phenomenal. It was our third encounter, and if you need a third match, it's Matthew DeLuna versus Greg Anthony with Downtown Bruno as the special guest referee. Downtown Bruno, also known as Harvey Wiffle. So.
Oh, yeah. And can we find these matches on YouTube?
Yes, all three of them are on YouTube. Matthew DeLuna is my channel name. Should be easy to find.
They're all on your YouTube channel.
Yes. There might be a couple missing every now and then, but I strive to put every match I ever have on my channel. So, especially within the last three or 4 years, I've made sure I have all the correct footage and everything like that. So, yeah, that's the perfect way to continuously watch me.
Perfect. And your the link to your YouTube page will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. So
awesome.
You could catch all of those matches and just binge watch all things Matthew DeLuna after this interview. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Ooh, okay.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Kurt Angle.
Worst wrestler.
Leslie Lorenzo. I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding. Worst wrestler? Oh, Cameron from the Funkadactyls.
Okay. I think that's actually the first time her name's ever been mentioned, honestly. But yeah.
Man, she tried to pin Naomi backwards and got mad that the ref wasn't pinning, that wasn't counting. And I haven't been able to forgive her for that. So.
I get it.
All love to her for real though. If she is in fact tuning in, I don't hate you. This is for the plot. I promise.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Yes. Hopefully Roman Reigns.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Triple H, my time. But now that I say that, that's what Leslie said, because he's a freak. I don't know why he would do that to me. So I want to pick a different song. Anyone's theme song ever, past or present, I would come out to Cedric Alexander's song. 205 Live Style.
Hell yeah, that was a banger.
It was a banger.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Dead.
We would have also accepted tastes great on toast.
That is so true.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
because it has seeds.
That is the correct answer, and that's the
I'm him.
and that's the reason. It has seeds.
Yes.
Alright. New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Yeah, so personally, when I see Sammy Guevara's butt cheek coming out of his trunk, part of me is like, ew, because I'm straight. But the second part of me is like, what a lovely, beautiful man. So I think if you can pull it off, go ahead, gang. But for me, I'm going to have to keep them covered. Now, I did take the Shawn Michaels Playgirl picture. So if you want that, put it in the chat. I'm just kidding.
So we're not going to see Matthew Del Luna in the Rikishi garb anytime soon.
Shoot, if y'all want that, put it in the comments, and I'll shoot. I might do it.
Okay. X amount of likes and views. He'll wear the Rikishi garb.
I might get some people excited. You should see my DMs. There's a lot of with all due respect, there's a lot of freaks out there. That's what Scott Steiner would say.
People asking for your socks, right?
Yeah, they're like, I'm so serious when I tell you this. I've gotten a DM that said, I will pay you to bonsai drop me. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, was it at least good money?
Oh, I didn't even ask. I didn't even pursue it. I probably should have. I probably would have had a good payday just to squash somebody. Not the fruit, not the fruit.
No, I get it. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
I actually believe I have. I was wearing a Day Luna shirt, and they're like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm a wrestler." And they're like, "Oh, you wrestle?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Did you see that guy jump from the top rope back first through a pane of glass?" And I said, "I sure did." So I think they were talking about Darby Allin.
I would bet good money that it was Darby Allin, because that's usually the thing people comment about the most.
Yeah, he's got that one. He can do that.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
That is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. It truly means a lot.
Absolutely. The pleasure was all ours. And once again, where can we find all things Del Luna on social media? And merchandise.
On all platforms. I'm sorry?
And merchandise.
Oh, and merchandise. So, on all platforms, follow Matthew Day Luna at TrueMDL. You can find that anywhere. And if you need to Google me for any reason, just put Matthew Day Luna Wrestler and I'll pop up. And again, on Pro Wrestling Tees, you can look up Matthew Day Luna or Day Lunas, and it's a mix of mine and Truman's. But for other merchandise, find me at my table at shows or on Instagram or Facebook if you've seen pictures of whatever I'm selling and you're not in town and you want it mailed to you, DM me and I'll get it to you there. So just contact me on social media and we'll get everything situated.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machines All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say Wrestling With, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For RA special guest Matthew Del Luna, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling With
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.